Sarah from The Upcoming. Such a pleasure to speak to you. So what was the appeal? This feels so refreshing for a Pixar film.
Great.
Chinese, Canadian, it's nostalgic, female-led. What was the appeal for you?
All those things, but the story. I was just saying that, this film focuses on the interior life of a 13-year-old Chinese Canadian girl. I wanted to be a part of that. Her strained relationship with her mother, her understanding more of her past history and cultural traditions, and really a young person finding their own voice and accepting their own messiness. That was a story, and also working with Zhou Mixi, the director. I wanted to work with her as well. All those things felt more than worth it. I really wanted to be a part of it.
Your career just seems to go from strength to strength, from Killing Eve to The Chair. Do you think you've opened doors, and do you think representation is improving?
Yes, I do think representation is because when I was 13, I didn't have to. There was nothing for me to audition for. Here I am. It's like at 50 now, being able to play the mother. But yes, absolutely. I mean, it's a very slow process. I don't want to sugarcoat it at all. It's a very slow process. But I do think things and interest and understanding for the richness of storytelling is opening up. Well, I am just really hope that people enjoy it. But I'd say specifically for the Asian diaspora, it's this. If you are a young person watching it, I understand that it's very, very difficult for many of us to separate and seem to disappoint our parents. But to find your own self, you need to do it, and it's okay to disappoint them. And then for people my age who have the children, it's to be gentler and give your children a bit more space to discover who they are. Accepting messiness, which is not necessarily a thing that is deeply in our cultures, but we need to do it for at least our children to find their own voices. I mean, that's too much to go into, but I will say that for me, I was very, very fortunate. I'm still very close with my parents, and I know that not everyone has that story.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, everything turned out okay. Yes. I'd say that I really love animation a lot, and it is a completely different skill set. It's a completely different skill set, but it's super fun. It's really super fun.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, in Turning Red, I play Ming, who is May's mother, and we have a bit of a strained relationship as she's going through that beautiful change in a young person's life. That you can express it, or you can share it with your parents to say that I'm having like a panda moment. You know what I mean? Or for a parent to check in, it's like, is this what's going on? If language is not so easy, it just gives an example for mostly probably parents to hopefully open up the conversation. So those two questions. One, how was it? It was fantastic to work on the Pixar film. It was fantastic to work with Zhou Mixi, who is a fellow Canadian. It was fantastic. The film is set in Toronto, so I just enjoyed the process tremendously. Your point about, of course, it's opening up because here we have a whole film. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this film is because it centers on a 13-year-old Chinese Canadian girl who's going through one of the most important changes in her life, was basically puberty. And so to spend, and also with that is a relationship with the mother. It's understanding and knowing your tradition and your culture, and having to ultimately break away in the way that feels authentic to May. We spend, I don't know how long the film is about, let's say we've spent 90 minutes with that story. And I think people, you don't have to just be Asian. You don't even just have to have an immigrant background. When you are a young person and you are seeking your independence and your own voice, you will be able to relate to this movie. So here we have it.
Yeah.